Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to our weekly podcast, Truths That Save. It's always such an honor to be here to discuss these truths that bring more meaning to our lives. I hope you have been blessed by our previous episodes. Please, you can always check us out at Truths That Save on Spotify, and Google Podcasts, Amazon, and everywhere that podcast is being served. Today, we're going to be looking at a very critical part of our Christian walk, which is Christianity and criticism. And the anchor scripture for that is Romans chapter 14, verse 10 to 13. You can read that on your time. And we're going deep into looking at what criticism is all about. We're going to look at the symptoms of a critical mindset. We're going to be looking at constructive criticism and non-constructive criticism. Then we're going to be looking at some of the benefits of constructive criticism and how to avoid negative criticism. This is going to be a two-part teaching. So this episode and the next one is going to be about this. So please stay tuned. First, we're looking at what is criticism all about. It is the act of judging other people unfavorably. It is the act of searching for fault with the intent to blame, condemn, or correct someone in a derogating manner. And most of the times we tend to judge other people, we tend to condemn other people, we tend to make it look like they were at fault at everything that happened. And we forget to look at our own side of the story. But today we're looking at the symptoms of a critical mindset that are negative. What are the things that we are doing wrong when it comes to criticism that we need to work on? A critical spirit is an obsessive attitude of criticism. It is always about fault finding. It seeks to tear down other people. And Satan specifically is called the accuser of brethren. So he's the author of negative criticism, which is one of the biggest reasons why we have to get away from this as far as we can. And the following symptoms can be identified when we talk about negative criticism. How can you check yourself to see if you're in this or not? The first one is that if you want to know if you have a symptom of criticism, you check to see how that mindset is always dwelling on the negative aspect of anything that is happening. When people are telling stories, you're only dwelling on the negative part. When people are in a conversation, you're just looking at the negative things. When somebody is sharing a story with you, you're just so focused on looking at what they did not do correctly. Also, the second one says that we seek to find flaws and errors rather than the good in any message that somebody is delivering to us or somebody is delivering anywhere. We don't want to look at the positive side of what somebody is doing or saying, but we tend to only look at the negative parts, and we tend to look at the errors and laugh at them, And the third one just goes directly with it. It says that we are constantly complaining. Like you make your lifestyle center around complaining, become a complainer. And usually we are upset when people are doing things around us because we feel like we should have done it better, or we should have been the ones doing it anyways. Why is it that they are the ones doing it? And generally, we begin to complain about everything. Good or bad, we complain. Positive or negative, we're just complaining. It becomes a life of complaints and negative emotions all around you. The fourth point here says that a symptom of criticism is that somebody begins to have little control over their tongue. You no longer know how to control your tongue. You don't no longer know how to control your temper. You don't longer know how to control your tendencies to gossip. When somebody's sharing a story, the only thing you're listening is that negative part that you can go share with another person in order to bring that fellow brother or sister down. These are really bad symptoms, and we have to check constantly, because it is not as if somebody is perfect, but knowing these things will just make us a lot better with our Christian work. And the fifth one talks about the fact that having symptoms of criticism comes with the desire, the tendency that we tend to have, which is all about pulling people down. It's all about degrading other people. It's all about demoting other people. It's all about condemning other people and making them look less of themselves. It is all about making fun of other people. It is all about hurting other people, finding fault in all their actions, finding fault in everything that people's lives represent here on earth. So these symptoms are very critical and we must analyze them on a daily basis. Remember, if you have a critical mindset and your mind is all about judging people unfavorably, then there's a problem somewhere. It is not all criticism that is bad, like we said, but we have to learn what constructive criticism is all about so we can better work with God and work with fellow man. I hope that this episode blessed you. Please stay tuned to our podcast as we're going to be bringing forth what constructive criticism is all about. Be blessed.